is Selena, and I'm going to do a review today, and I'm going to do a review of the book The Kite Runner by Kite and this is my second time reading it, and I was so fortunate to be able to read this with Rachel over at Shades of Orange. I'm going to leave a link to her channel and her review that she did of The Kite Runner down below. This was her first time reading The Kite Runner, and this was like my second or third time reading it, and I was just really happy to have a friend to talk to about this. So we read it on our own, and we did a video chat talking about the book, and which was really nice because since I started BookTube, I've always said that BookTubers have the best people, but this was a chance for me to actually get to interact with one other than, you know, leaving comments at the bottom of the video. So I was just really excited. Also, buddy reading was one of my New Year's resolutions, so I am so glad that I was able to do it and have this experience, and I want to do more buddy reads. It was just so fun, so much fun. This book gives me so much joy to read. Not that it's a happy, joyful book, but I feel like my eyes are open, I feel like my heart's open when I read this, and just that, you know, you want to go into the world and just do good and do things that are positive. So this story follows Amir as a young child living in Afghanistan before the revolutions, and then it goes and follows his life into America and how he grows up into an adult and the adventures and misadventures that he has in his life that shape him into the man that we see toward the end of the story. Also get to see his father, Baba, and their interaction with each other, and then there's, more importantly, his relationship with his friend and house servant, Haseen. This relationship, I felt, was just so curious to me. This is a friendship that they can't be public about because of the social structures that are in Afghanistan. One thing I do like about Hosseini's writing is that I felt like he managed the emotion of this novel very well. As you enter into an emotional climax of the story, you're not plummeted into, you know, huge depths of despair or anything like that, but this novel does have a lot of emotions and a lot of feelings, and just be prepared when you do read, if you have read. Now, this novel was published back in 2003, so it's been out for over 10 years, and I know many of you guys have already read it, but in case you haven't, you might want to stop now because I'm going to be getting into some spoilers, and I'm also going to be answering questions that Rachel has given me. She has sent me 3 questions to answer. I'm just going to be answering those questions, and then I'm maybe getting into some spoilery things. So if you haven't read this book, bye. I'll talk to you guys later. But if you want to continue watching, just be warned that I may be saying some things that are spoilers. Question 1 from Rachel. While rereading The Kite Runner, did you notice any details or themes that you didn't catch when reading it the first time? I think one thing that I did catch the first time reading was the theme of sacrifice. In their culture, there's this tradition of killing and sacrificing the lamb, and the idea of someone, a human being, being sacrificed and what they are willing to sacrifice themselves for. Baba, the father, who sacrificed a happy relationship with his son Amir to just be able to watch his son Haseen, who we find out later is actually his son, grow up. And so while he's keeping this devastating secret and it's crippling his relationship with Amir, he has the ability to watch Haseen grow, and so I feel like that was a huge sacrifice. And then Amir, he sacrifices himself, his self physically, especially when he goes back to get Hassan's son from the Taliban. That type of sacrifice, I think, was now in the second time reading very evident to me. Number 2. The author describes Afghanistan as it existed in the 1970s and then later as it existed in 2001. How did you feel about those two contrasting settings? Does the Afghanistan that Amir grew up in still exist? And I was so intrigued about the Afghanistan that they talked about before the revolution, because growing up now, I don't think I could ever conceive of it, but they were talking about how there were VW vans driving around in one scene where Baba and Amir were picnicking, and there were blonde-haired hitchhikers, like hippies, roaming around. And just to think that Afghanistan could have been a vacation destination is an interesting idea, because that thought would never occur to me now. But does that same Afghanistan still exist? I would have to say no. So there's one line in the story that I think would epitomize this, when he is going back into Afghanistan to get Hassan's son, and it reads like this: "I saw a bullet pocket sign half buried at an angle in a heap of debris. It read, 'Drink Coca-Cola,' and it just stops." So Coca-Cola is like the universal sign, I would think, of like good times and enjoyment, right? But this sign has been destroyed and shot at, and so the symbol of peace and happiness is no more. It's gone. So I think that no, his Afghanistan from his childhood does not exist. Number 3. The novel starts with Amir saying, "I became what I am today at the age of 12. You would think that that event solely shaped his character, or were there any influencing factors that influenced him?" And while that was a big influencing factor on him, what happened that day of the Kite tournament, I feel like his relationship with his father was another big influence, especially while they were still in Afghanistan and his father kept Amir at arm's length. I believe that a lot of what he did was to gain his father's love and gain his father's respect, and because his father was dealing with his own secrets and kept pushing him away, it brought on a lot of the struggle and the tension between Amir and Hassan. So I think that another influencing factor would be his father's distance in his life. So those are the 3 questions that Rachel had asked, and I just wanted to ask you guys, if you have read The Kite Runner, what did you think of this? And what were some of the more memorable images that stuck with you about this tale? And if you haven't read The Kite Runner, let me know if you think that you're going to read it now. I'll be glad to know. Also, just so you know, FYI, that this book was turned into a movie. I'm not going to say much about it because it's been a while since I had seen the movie, but if you wanted to check the movie out, it has been adapted into a movie. Okay, so bye.